Hi everyone and welcome to Club 6 episode 8 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we have reached the end of our season with Arsenal. It's been a real tricky one. We are just outside the European spots with one game to play. There is a chance that we can get back into them on this last day of the season. We play Watford, our previous club who we managed, and they're already relegated, should I say. So let's see how we get on. So we find ourselves in 7th position in the league. It's not where I want to be, absolutely, in this first season with Arsenal. I was hoping to guarantee ourselves somewhere in the top 6, and we haven't quite managed that on the last day, but we might still just scrape in there a little bit. Tottenham and Brighton are ahead of us. They're playing the likes of Leicester and Newcastle, who are sitting mid-table. So there's possibilities that those two, one of those teams could come a cropper a little bit and we could jump over them and get the European spot, but there's no guarantee of that. As I say, Watford down in 18th position on 27 points. They are already relegated. Our previous team that we did manage before are now struggling a little bit, it seems, and they're going to drop back down to the Championship. So we're not going to actually relegate them ourselves, which is kind of nice. I didn't really want to have to do that, but they're kind of gone already. So we're free to play our game, see if we can get the 3 points, and see if we can jump over Tottenham or Brighton and get into a European spot. At the moment, the board are not particularly happy. There's a few reports in the press that they're looking at my position. And so if we can get that European spot, maybe that will appease them and we'll be okay for next season. If we don't, maybe that could cause a problem. If we go back into the league for a second and go to season preview, you'll see that actually we were due to finish in 5th. That's where the predictions were. So if we could jump over either Brighton or Tottenham and finish in maybe 6th, I'm not sure that they would have too many grounds for us being sacked, really. The only problem that we have, of course, is if we don't quite qualify for one of those European spots. So we'll see how it goes, but that's the situation as it currently stands. In terms of where we've been recently, if we go into the schedule, you'll see that right at the bottom here, in the last 4 games, the Fulham game was the last time you and I were together, I think. And we've played Tottenham, Wolves and Man United since then, all above us in the league. Got 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. Not too bad. I would have liked to have converted that Tottenham draw to a win if I possibly could, because 1, it was against the direct rivals, and 2, they were just directly ahead of us as well. But it wasn't to be. And today we finish off the season with that 18th position, Watford. So that's the situation. I don't think we've done terribly this season. This run of form in the second half of the season hasn't been too bad, I don't think. It's just that there are some very, very good teams in the Premier League and they don't drop many points. So we're going to have to improve over the summer if we stick around here at Arsenal to properly start challenging next season. Anyway, that's the setup. That's where we are. 1 more game to play in the season. Can we get a European spot? Let's go find out. So we do have some injury issues. De Souter's out for the next 6 weeks. We talked about him, I think, in the last episode of being out for quite some time. So that's him done for this season. Adam Turner, one of my rotating options in the defence, he's also out for about 3 weeks. And then we've got Dwight McNeil. Now, Dwight McNeil is going out of the club at the end of this season, primarily for 2 reasons. 1, he's 33 years old and his contract's up, and I want to freshen this squad up with some younger talent. But 2, he's always injured. Even if it's just a niggly thing for 2 days, it always seems to happen just before a match. And again, he's out for about 8 days or whatever with some form of injury. I just can't get him on the football pitch, unfortunately. And unfortunately today, his rotating option on this left wing position, Robbio, is also slightly injured and can only give us 45 minutes, really. So I've put him on the bench. And Louis Barry's going to have to play out wide on the left-hand side and cut in on that inside forward role. And hopefully his striking prowess will get a performance out of him. We'll have to wait and see. So that's the injury situation that we've got. We are playing a couple of players in their last game for us. So Pobega and Martinez are both leaving the club again on free transfers. One's 33, one's 35, I think, something like that. This was an ageing team when I came into the squad in a lot of ways. So we're trying to freshen that up. So those two will play today just to complete their Arsenal career before they move on. And I also think they're in reasonable form at the moment. Martinez has got a couple of goals recently. Pobega has been one of the better players in our central midfield, so no worries about that particularly. So for today's game against Watford in the Premier League, last of the season, we go with Lafont in goal, Benabid at right back, Ord at left back, Lever and Franco in central defence, Pobega, Bayens and Gavi in central midfield, Saka on the right, Barry on the left and Martinez up top, and a 9-man bench all ready and raring to go should we need them. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So it's kind of an obvious team talk today, really. We've pumped the fist and we've told the players we need to improve our chances of qualifying for Europe here. Let's get the job done. And it is that simple. It's the only thing I care about for today. Don't care how well we play. As long as we come away with those 3 points, I will be very, very happy with that. And straight into kickoff we go. Let's see how we get on. Of course, the problem that we've got is that we're playing against a former team. And every time you play against former clubs and former players, they usually come back to bite you. And there's plenty in their squad that could potentially do that today because we've managed them all. So it is going to be a real big problem for us. We have to be at our best to get a result here. And we are at our best quite early on. A good opportunity off the far side. The cross comes in at 12 minutes. And it's quite a simple goal for Saka, really. We get the ball to, not Saka. Saka was involved in the play. It's Barry on the back post. We talked about him before the game. Louis Barry, a striker by trade, playing off that left wing today because of injuries in that inside forward role, getting through and trying getting shots at goal. This time it was a header. Benabid, the right back, charges into the box and does really well to bring out a save from the goalkeeper, and the follow-up is booted clear eventually. But not too bad at all. We've started brightly, which I really like to see. Watford have got a goal kick and they've kept it very, very short, and they're working through the lines down the right-hand side. Gives us plenty of chance to get our shape sorted defensively and hopefully get an interception in some way. They've worked it very, very nicely. And there is the interception. That's really good work by Franco. Last-ditch tackle by him. Had to get it right, otherwise he'd have been in trouble. And he really did. It was very, very good. And we then now work out from the back. We are being pressurised a little bit, but there's a little bit of space just opening up for us. Pobega on the ball through into midfield. Louis Barry on the left-hand side gets it out from his feet, charges down the left-hand side. Bayens in support, switches the play, puts it into the far side of the penalty box, and Saka, the other wide man, having already seen Louis Barry get a goal, now gets himself on the score sheet with a very good finish. Bayens does really well just to hold up the ball, switch onto his right foot, puts a sweeping ball across the penalty box, and on the volley, Saka does brilliantly well with the finish, and we go 2-0 up. Is that enough to see us to the 3 points? I think it possibly might be even now, to be honest. So far, Watford haven't really done too much, and so it becomes a little bit about what are Brighton and what are Tottenham doing in their games. We're not going to go looking for that. We're going to find that out at the end of the fixture, just so we can focus on our game. Occasionally, scorelines come up on the screen, and we might pick it out, but if not to worry. We'll figure that. We have to worry about ourselves more than anything. That's a great ball over the top for Martinez to chase onto, and he's pulled down in the box. It was a good ball over the top by Saka. Martinez got on there. The defender hacked at him, really. And they've given away a penalty kick. Is that a chance for Martinez to get on the score sheet on his last game for Arsenal? It probably is. And here we go. Lautaro Martinez, 35, 36, somewhere around there. Last game. And he does get on the score sheet, this time from the penalty spot. And we do take a 3-0 lead with 35 minutes gone, which is very, very positive. It's the kind of response you want, having just been beaten by the potential champions, Manchester United. We did well in that game. We lost 3-2, but it was quite close all the way through. There were moments where we could have maybe taken a draw in that one. So we're playing reasonably well at the moment. And on this occasion, it's showing itself, should I say, against Watford. 3-0 up at half-time. Barry, Saka and Martinez from the penalty spot gives us that 3-0 lead. 50-50 possession, so Watford are having the ball, not really able to do too much with it. 1.9 XG for us, 0.4 for them. 10 and 6 in terms of shots and shots on target for us, 4 and 2 for them. So we're dominating the game, excuse me, looking pretty good doing it. So we can go outstretched arms. I'm pleased we've created a bunch of chances. Let's go with that one. Why not? And let's see what we can do in the second half. We will be making some changes. We'll probably bring the two guys off that are going to be leaving the club just to give them an opportunity to listen in from the fans, because they've been very good for the club. And we'll bring on some fresh legs as the game wears on a little bit. But ultimately, we don't really need to change too much at the moment because it's all looking pretty good for ourselves. Goalkeeper doesn't cover himself in glory there, trying to punch it away, but we win the ball because of it. And we get a chance to reset ourselves and see if we can go again. And we do, into Gavi in midfield, onto Benabid. The right back has been playing brilliantly well recently. That's an interesting ball to switch to play, but it keeps possession, I guess. But yeah, Benabid, really quite impressed by him most recently, which is good to see. And then Watford boot the ball clear, but the highlight resets itself for a free kick. Bayens for us, long-range effort, and the goalkeeper kind of flaps at it a bit, it felt like. Should have caught it, potentially. Palms it away for a corner. Corner comes in and we get it over the top of the bar. 68, 69 minutes on the clock. We're going to pause the game momentarily, and we're going to take those two players off specifically. Pobega will come out, and we'll put Juppé in. And Martinez comes out, and we'll put Fasanella in, because those two players are going to play a big part for us next season, I would imagine. We've got Louis Barry on a slightly lower rating than most other people, but he's also got a goal, remember. So I am going to actually leave him in there. And I think that the one player that I'd like to see play is Pacheco, one of our other January signings. Done okay for us, still getting used to the club a little bit. And so he's going to replace Saka for the last little while, because I really want to get him some more game time just at the end of this season. I think he could be quite important for us next season, Pacheco, because he's a pretty good right-sided winger. He's just got Saka in that position as well, which makes it complicated. But the more game time we get him, the better he will become, I would imagine. And there's Benabid doing really well again to get through on goal. And eventually sweeps the ball slightly wide of the post, but showing absolutely everything I want from him. He's a little bit jaded in his fitness just a moment, because he's played a lot of matches for us recently without too much of a rest, because he's been on such good form. And again, he's on the ball, tries to put the ball into the box onto that far side. It doesn't quite manage it, but we retain possession, and then we lose it. And Watford get a chance to counter-attack. 75 minutes on the clock, 15 minutes to go, 3-0 up. Are Watford going to get a consolation? They do, and it's a really weird one in a lot of ways. I mean, it's a perfectly good build-up. The cross is really quite deep and pushes the guy very, very narrow. And the goalkeeper is scrambling to get across to cover that near post and kind of moves away from it to protect himself, it feels like. And they get a fairly, I mean, it's an interesting header from that sort of angle, but they managed to get it in the back of the net somehow. We counter quite quickly with a chance of our own that hits the crossbar. Kind of not happy about that goal. I think the goalkeeper should have done slightly better on the goal that we conceded, to be honest. And we've just seen that I think there is a draw for either Tottenham or Brighton. I couldn't even remember which one it was. It might be Brighton that are drawing currently to someone like Newcastle. So if we can hold on to the points, maybe we are jumping back into the European spots. Very interesting. It is 1-1 between Brighton and Newcastle. That's interesting. That could help us out. Dying seconds of the game, we're 3-1 up, so the points are basically ours. Watford on the ball with a few seconds left, so they're going to have maybe one more go at goal if they're lucky, and then the final whistle should go. They're playing it quite slowly around at the back. They don't seem to have much energy for moving it forward particularly quickly at this point. Kind of feels like their job is done. They're definitely down this season, so they're going to go back to the Championship and see if they can come back up again. But they have worked a nice opportunity, and there again, the central defence, Lever this time, doing a really good job. And we put the ball through to Bayens, and he puts it in the back of the net for us. And we take a 4-1 lead. We've picked up that ball brilliantly in defence and then worked it much, much quicker than Watford were. And Bayens on the ball at the halfway line and then makes a really good run from deep. Over the top, the ball goes into his path. puts it past the goalkeeper. Really good play from him. He's done very well since moving to the central midfield attacking role, which is really positive. And we do win the game 4-1. So let's go and check out what that actually means for us. Let's go. So we go outstretched arms, about as comprehensive as you get, blown them away. And then we can move forward and see what the table has to say on the next screen or so. So awaiting media reaction. We can send the assistant to all of that. He can deal with that. Here we go. We move up into 6th position, which is really fantastic. That is what we wanted from that last day, really. 1 point behind Tottenham, who were in 5th, where we were supposed to finish this season in terms of the predictions. Brighton do drop down to 7. It looks like they're going to find a way to a European spot, just dependent on who's in cup finals and other bits and pieces. It looks like that's going to work out. So maybe we would have got a European spot in 7th anyway, but we move up a place. We finish in 6th. I mean, we are a long way away, a real long way away from the leaders. Manchester United are about 28 points? I think that's about right. That's a long way away from where we need to be, really, ultimately. But we'll keep giving it a good go and keep plugging away. But on this occasion, we finish in 6th. So there was nothing from the board in the direct aftermath of the game in terms of telling me that I'm not going to be here next season or they're unhappy or anything like that. So I think the last couple of games, we managed to get a couple of wins in the last 2 or 3 matches, and that just potentially saves the job for us a little bit. And after all, we are only a point away from what the predictions were this season. So not too bad. I mean, I can't even remember. We might have suggested to them that I was aiming for a Champions League spot, and maybe that's the issue. We're 4 points away from that. But even so, I think we gave it a good shout. And let's see whether we can potentially move into that for next season, possibly. For that to happen, we're going to have a good summer. The finances of the club are not great at the moment, but that will get sorted with prize money and other bits and pieces. We're in the red in the overall balance. We've got a little bit of money to spend, though, so we will be doing a little bit of that as we go through the transfer window. And hopefully we can come with a slightly fresher, slightly younger squad. Might even have a change of style in there for the tactic. Who knows? I'll have to figure that as I go. But that's going to do it for this season and this particular episode. The season is done. We finish in 6th. Not too bad. Can we continue on? Of course, what we're trying to do is hunt down a Champions League final, because that will end this particular series. One final is all we get. Whether we've won the Premier League or not doesn't matter. If we get to a European Champions League final, whether we win or lose, that's the end point of the series. So that's what we're aiming for as we continue to move on. And of course, to do that, we need to get back into the Champions League. So we'll be trying as hard as we can to do that next season. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. Hope you're still enjoying this particular series. It's a lot of fun. It's challenging to try and compete at this level with such good clubs around us. But we'll give it a good go for next season. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.